This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is the 67th episode of the MFer Podcast, and I'm back, baby. Woo! Woohoo! Hell yes. Here I am, finally back live on YouTube, broadcasting. It's been a minute. I think out of the past month, I've done one podcast. That's not a great record. But I am here today, so that's got to count for something. I'm here, Can't complain too much. But anyway, here I am. It's been a wild couple of weeks. I had 4 wisdom teeth pulled. 4, all 4 of them. It's horrible. I had my dentist has been asking me to do this for a while. I've been pushing it off because I goddamn did not want to do it. I didn't at all because I knew it was going to suck, and it did. It was bad. My ex-girlfriend very generously took me to the appointment because I couldn't take myself because I went under because I did not want to be awake while they did all that shit. And she played nurse to me. It was very generous. It was very sweet of her, and I really appreciated her for that. And, first day, actually, came back, slept. Wasn't that bad, I was on a bunch of pills, and it was fine. Next day, I was like, this is going to be a breeze. This is going to be fine. No worries here at all. I don't even feel pain, you know what I mean? Like, I was popping the pills, but I was cool. Third day was like, all right, starting to ache a little bit. Fourth day, horrible. Horrible. Woke up in agony, just like down to smoothie so I could pop those pain meds, man. 5th day, 6th day, awful. I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking bad, And so like, even when I woke up on Monday, a week later, I was still like, God damn, when does this stop, I was texting the dentist. I'm like, is this normal? And they're like, is there anything they get listed off some symptoms to be like, is it infected? And I didn't have any of those symptoms, thank God. But I, like, the doctor immediately called me. I didn't even call him. He called me. He's a good dude. And he's like, asking me these questions. And he's just like, basically like, yeah, you're 40, buddy. That's what happens when you get your wisdom teeth pulled when you're 40. It takes a while. And I was like, God damn, that sucks. That sucks. Like, that's one of those things, life just gets real. You're like, oh, man. Those, like, things come in, let you know you're 40. But I absolutely would have streamed that day, except my building has been doing all this internet work. And because of where I live, we don't have a choice in internet. We have to use the internet that they provide. And generally, it's not a problem. But they switched over the whole system. It's actually improved, but there was no Ethernet. And I'm like, what's the deal? And my building almost gave me a goddamn panic attack. It was telling me, oh, no, we don't have Ethernet anymore. And I was almost like, I have to move. I can't do it. Like, I can't do this job if I can't have Ethernet. So I was like, no, this is crazy, but all worked out. And I eventually finally got it back. And then, then a bunch of vandals vandalized the property where the ISP is, and I almost like couldn't stream this weekend. Luckily, there's some good dudes working on it and got it back up and running, so I was able to get back on and stream. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a wild couple weeks. It's been a wild couple weeks, but I'm back. Thank you guys for your patience. Some people even reached out. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I really appreciated that. That was very nice. I'm fine. You know, I had this like basically a week of like laying around doing nothing. I hated it. I was like, I just want this to be over, you know, because I felt like garbage. I was just like, please end. Like, I want to go back to normal. You know, I want to get back in the gym. You know, I'm getting all like titties again, you know. Like, I just want to go work out and like be a normal person, be a big boy again. But anyway, that's all finally over. And as you guys noticed, I started kind of like regular YouTubing again, sort of like the old school. Never felt more energized about this. I don't know. I just been doing a lot more like research on like what you're supposed to do as a YouTuber, you know, instead of just winging it. Like actually like figuring out some kind of a process, and it's paid off. And Alagables, hello sir, pointed out, congrats Matt on that video hitting 6K. Thank you. It's now at 8. So you gained about 500 subs. Not quite 500. That's a bit of an exaggeration. I'd say about 45, but that's still terrific. It was great, and that was a big story, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But that was cool. That was great. You know, it's invigorating. It's the third most popular video this channel's ever done, so that's great. And you're like, oh, okay, this is possible. YouTube doesn't hate me. I'm just a shitty YouTuber. Get good, you know what I mean? But, hey, it's good to see you, everyone. Cotton Ministries, good to see you, sir. Hello, hello, hello. What's crack-a-lackin'? And Lovely Sherry. Hello, Lovely Sherry. What's going on? Listless, howdy. What's cracking? What's cracking? And the big ship. What's going on, dog? Glad you're up and at it again. Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be back. It feels good. It feels great. I love doing this stuff. I miss you guys, you know? That was one of the things, too, like last year when I kind of like stopped altogether. I really missed everyone, you know? It's like when I go to the Gary, like, Nerdrotic meetups, like, you know, it's great to see those guys and everything, but they're, you know, everyone's there to see them, you know? So they're busy. And they, you know, they gotta, you know, they're like celebrities, basically. They have to go work the room and do the thing. I like seeing everyone. I like seeing the fandom. You know, I like seeing everyone who goes to fellowship. I'm like, oh shit, what's up? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? You know, and catching up and hearing from people and seeing, you know, meeting new creators and seeing how people are doing. And, you know, some people have like really come into prominence. I mean, as I understand it, what's his name? Culture Casino does this for like a living now. Like this is pure income as YouTube. It's like, dude, that's, you know, it's great. You know, I like to see my boys flexing. You know, I like to see the come up. But yeah, I miss you guys. I like talking to you. You got new lights? I did get new lights. Yeah, those are from my my sister gave me those for Christmas. It was a very sweet gift. She didn't know what to get me. I talked about this before, you know. She's like, tell me what to get you. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not. You know, you have to figure it out. I don't know. Like that's on you. That's on the gift giver. Ask someone who knows me, like my mom, whom you also know. You know what I mean? She might be able to give you some insight on what to get your brother. And she did. She got me those, and they look nice. So that's about it. You're all caught up. That's everything, all the things. Fucking jaw. I've been watching that new show, Mobland. I don't know. Is anyone checking that out? Anyone watched Mobland on Paramount Plus? Recommended. I heard about it, and I looked into it. I gotta stop doing this, but I looked into it, and like the reviews were meh, and I was like, oh, really? The reviews are meh on this? Like, oh, okay, I guess I'll give it a miss. And then like the next episode came out, and I was like, yeah, that's that show that isn't supposed to be good, right? And I just was like, screw it, put it on one night. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I don't know if like, I think, you know how some dudes are just like into Westerns and they'll just watch like anything Westerns. I think I'm kind of like that with those stylized crime dramas, you know, like these sort of Guy Ritchie style crime dramas. Like, I'll watch any of them. I think they're great. You know what I mean? I think they're so much fun. I'm working on a big video for on the movie Layer Cake for the other channel, which I have 2.5 hours of footage to go through. I sure gave myself a task. So I'm editing that. I don't know when that'll be up, but you know, don't hold your breath. It'll come out when it comes out. But I just love those styles of movies. I think they're so much fun. They're great. Like, they're just the best. And this show is no exception. It's awesome. It's got Pierce Brosnan as like this old Irish guy with Helen Mirren as his wife. And they're like the head of this like Irish mob crime family. Tom Hardy's like their fixer, kind of like their Mr. Wolf. And he's torn in a million different directions. And there's like this feud between him and this other family. And this like this deep like blood feud. It's great. I'm loving it. New episode came out last night. I was like, let's go. A lot of fun. Highly recommend Mobland. That's taking the place of Severance for me, because I don't know what else is out there. Not much, right? It seems like we're getting a little bit back. Except for what? Black Snape. Black Snape came out today. That's official. So goddamn funny. They just can't help themselves sometimes. And it's like, you see the whole cast, right? And like the rest of the cast looks like they would teach at Hogwarts. And then this guy, you're just like, really? I mean, come on. Like, you know what you're doing. Like, you put out like an Instagram post announcing it, comments are turned off. Like, oh, okay. Why would that be? You think people might have a problem with it? You think you don't care, and then you're just doing it for diversity's sake? We know. We're over it. What year do you think it is? Like, it's not working out. How many times you guys got to take the L? This one can't even be one of those things like, oh, the movie or the show was in production for a while back when like the culture was different and Trump didn't win and people were still deluded by your nonsense. So you just made that decision the other day. You didn't have to do that. But you did. So, oh well. You know, people are saying Adam Driver. I'm like, can Adam Driver do an English accent? That's not easy. It's certainly not easy to maintain. And across multiple seasons, it's a big ask. But he's a pretty good actor, so who knows? But I think it's so funny. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I saw some guys, like, you know, people getting pissed because I guess they were excited because they think, like, J.K. Rowling will be vindicated or something, and there'll be, like, a better, more extended Harry Potter show. People get pretty passionate about those books. I get it. They're good books. I used to love them. They do contradict themselves quite a bit, but whatever. They're fun. But now I'm like, I've tweeted, I was like, I used to get mad at this stuff, but now I'm just like, let it burn. Let it all burn down. I don't care. Let the whole thing implode, destroy, replace it with something new. You know, they didn't learn their lesson. They're still spurging. You know, the Fantastic Four, all this like buzz about what the Fantastic Four is going to be. And it's like, it's going to be inclusive. It's like, not going to be, it's like, okay, cool. Make another gay fucking $300 million, you know, Marvel movie or whatever. Okay, I won't see it, and I don't care. You know, it's like you just made me so numb to like all of it. I don't get upset. I'm just like, all right, another stupid Hollywood decision. Okay. Oh well. It's your money you're gonna light on fire, not mine. I don't need to watch your crap. Listless. I've been reading like a fiend. I go through phases where that's all I want to do. It's a happy place thing. Do you mean the Harry Potter books? Is that what you're talking about? Because I get that. Like, when I was a kid, man, when I was in high school, shoot. Sometimes I would just come home and I would, like, take a nap, wake up, read Harry Potter until I went to sleep. I just binged that shit. She made those books really compelling, you know? There's definitely things about them, and I think, like, some people who were maybe, like, adults when those books came out have, like, some more critical things to say about it. But for me, I was like, you know, these are great. Like, I remember when I read the first one, I was on like summer vacation, and we went down the shore to a town called Avalon, New Jersey. And I had the first book, and I was obsessed. Like, I burned through it. So I went to the bookstore in that town to get the second one, and they didn't have it. So I just skipped it. I went right to the third. I didn't care. And the second book kind of sucks anyway. So I was like, I just need more Harry Potter. I don't give a shit. And they kept referencing things that happened in the second book. I was like, fuck, what was that about? Oh, I need to know. But yeah, no, I mean, I get people's passion about it. You know, I was a Harry Potter dweeb One time, man, this girl that I went to high school with, I was dating this girl. Her name is Alex, and her friend, whose name I don't remember. The day the 5th book came out, like the day it came out, she walks up to me and she goes, Sirius dies. And I was just like, what? She's like, yeah, Sirius dies in the book. And I was like, why would you say that? She's like, I don't know. If I was so mad in a way where you're not even mad, you know? Where you're just like, oh, like a bomb dropped, you know? And she ruined that whole book for me. I couldn't get it out of my head. I tried to get it out of my head. I tried to force that knowledge out of my head and it just wouldn't go. Yeah, bitch. There's always one race swap, it seems. Yeah, it's like you know, have to have like one gay character. It's like, no, you have to have one race swap. You have to have at least one. And it always, it's like, you might as well just do it for the whole cast, because if you're just doing it for one guy, like, it really stands out. Like, it's way worse to just do it with one guy, you know? The poor English, man. I mean, America, we got it bad, but like the English just can't be English. They're just not allowed. It's just like that identity is just being scrubbed from the planet. It's just not a thing you're allowed to be. A white Christian English person. Not allowed. It's an illegal identity. No longer. Unpersoning that ethnicity. Wild, bro. I want to hear about the things that go on in England. Like, watch Carl Benjamin's channel. That is some crazy shit. Some old man had his like eyes gouged out, and there was like some 13-year-old girl, and the story, I don't want to mention the details because they're horrific, but it's just like, good Lord, what the hell is going on over there, man? That's crazy. Like, it's nuts, and I feel really bad for those guys, you know? I really do. It's like their country's just being stolen. G20 Oscar sleeper. I saw Mahler posted some line from that movie, and it was, I don't remember what it was, but it was something about incels and crypto or something. I was like, whoa. Okay. You think it'd be good fodder for a video, Lagabulus? Maybe I should watch it to throw out a review on it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care as much. I'm not the best at hate watching things, because I get truly upset about it, and it doesn't bring me any joy. Like Mahler, Gary, those guys can watch stuff and trash it and have fun with it. I don't. I get upset. I get upset. That's why I stopped doing the culture war when it came to entertainment after the Lord of the Rings show. I was like, this is despicably bad. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't want to watch this. What am I monetize this? It's making me miserable. So I don't know. You've been reading all kinds of stuff. Oh, that's good. Good. Yeah, that's good. That's healthy to read. I think I need to go back and read like a novel. I was reading the third Altered Carbon book, and I think I need to go back and do that because it's really like they're great, but I just dropped it, and I think like sometimes getting into a novel is really what can get me back in the rhythm of reading a lot. But I haven't been reading for a while. I announced here like I don't know a few months ago that me and my friend were gonna read Meditations and then talk about it, and we never did. We just never did. I tried. I haven't been reading the Bible either. I need to go back. I got a little further, but I'm still like in Genesis. Like I said, this shit is long. It's a very, very long book, the Bible. Over 4,000 pages. Heavens. But it's interesting because a lot of people around me are kind of like my sister is now getting religious, and like my friend and his girlfriend have like been attending service and stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, there's like kind of resurgence of like Christianity in America. It's nice. It's a good look. Good look. Cotton Ministries. I found out something about myself today. If you insist on playing the 4 non-blondes, I will eventually become physically violent. That is not my reaction, actually. I was driving back my ex-girlfriend. She brought me to the doctor, as I said. So I brought her to the doctor. She had to get an eye thing done. And I found out she has to have surgery on her eyes. Fucking scary. She was not thrilled. And 4 non-blondes came on the radio. I said, hey, what's going on? And I was screaming it at the top of my lungs to try to cheer her up. So I don't feel the same way, my friend. I read The Trial by Franz Kafka. Wild. I tried to read Metamorphosis, and I just found it so pretentious. I was just like, all right, dude. It's kind of like when I read Catch-22. I was like, you really think you're funny, huh? Like, he was just so into his own humor. I was like, okay, this isn't that funny. But, he just comes across, someone's like, how droll, like really getting a kick out of themselves when they're writing. You're like, oh, my God. All right, buddy. Gulag Acaparago underscores the evil of communism. Nice. I do have the book about Hollywood communism that Razorfist read as a major source for his video about Hollywood always being red. I really want to read that. I might do a video about that if I ever get around to reading it. But I want to read that. It sounds interesting. It sounds really interesting. The Commonwealth countries are spiraling out of control. Oh, bro, it's really bad. Yeah, and Trump pulled I don't want to say the tiger's tail because I don't really consider Canada a tiger. More like the house cat's tail, but still a cat. Still got claws. They're not thrilled with us. They're not thrilled with Maga. They're not thrilled with Trump. Yeah, no, they're just gonna vote themselves liberal again, which is so fucking stupid. It's like unbelievable. You've learned nothing. How have you learned nothing? Unbelievable. My God, Canada, get your shit together. It really has fallen apart the last 20 years in the UK. It was not like that when I lived there. I didn't know you lived there. Yeah, it doesn't. Doesn't look good, bro. Not looking good. Don't waste your time, foul ball. Oh, you did. Okay. Fair enough. Don't do it. That's the G20, I assume. Don't do that. Okay. What's up, Jana Banana? Hello. Good to see you. I'm revisiting the Greek classics via Audible. Iliad, Odyssey. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I want to go back and finish that damn Daryl Cooper podcast. Okay, speaking of which, let's get into it. Let's start some fucking topics, huh? Okay, so I don't know if you guys watched this, but like I said, Alagables, thank you for pointing out the video. It did well. It did great. And it was about that Douglas Murray and Dave Smith episode of Joe Rogan. And I watched it out of genuine interest. I didn't even think about making a video about it. I was just curious. I was like, ooh, this could be good. It's going to be a guy who's like, and Dave Smith, who's smart and really knows what he's talking about when it comes to that Israel-Palestine debate. Like, he's got receipts, man. He's got points, And Doug would have ever figured that out if he didn't stop trying to discredit him. But I've always kind of was under the impression Douglas Murray was the type of guy who was, like, forthright, and could really discuss things and would debate, in good faith. And holy Christ, that wasn't the case at all. Not the case at all. That's funny. Don't sing that fucking song. I'll sing whatever I want, brother. I'll sing whatever I want. What's going on? And man, I just watched it just because I was curious about it. I was curious about the discussion, and I was yelling at my computer while it was going on. Literally, I was yelling at my computer. I was like having an argument with Doug while I was watching the podcast. You know how you do. And I called my buddy, and I was like, dude, this fucking clown. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then I start to see on Twitter, there's like a uproarious discussion about this podcast, and somehow people walked away with the impression that Doug Murray not only didn't look like a total asshole, which he did, that he won. I was like, excuse me, did you watch the same thing I watched where that guy spent like an hour, the first hour, basically attacking Joe Rogan for bringing on people who are not experts and they don't know what they're talking about. They're uneducated. You couldn't even identify who they were. You didn't even know who you were supposed to be mad at. You're telling these guys that they can't talk about these experts. You don't even know who they are. Who's the Darryl? And they're like, no, Cooper. Who's the one who thinks he knows about Churchill? Shut up, dude. Oh my God. That was so obnoxious. Like, that whole opening of that podcast was so annoying. Like I said, I was yelling at the pod. Oh, he's expert on Churchill. And it's also like, this is just such a juvenile and woke argument. It's like, you can't go back and re-examine it or scrutinize it or look at it from a deeper lens than like, than the surface, than the narrative we were supposed to consume. And if you do, what's implied is it's anti-Semitism. What the fuck is that? What kind of crazy? And then he goes on to suggest that, this is the only story people get about Churchill? About Winston Churchill? Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to sit on a national platform and make that argument? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, you can have a problem with what they're saying. Why don't you take on what they're saying instead of the fact that they're allowed to talk about it? They're uneducated. Daryl Cooper is not uneducated. He didn't go to Oxford and get an undergrad in English, by the way. You don't even have a degree in history, so I don't know what you're talking about. But he's spectacularly educated. If you've ever listened to any of his podcasts, you would know that almost instantly. He's like, I don't even know how he's got like a planet brain. I don't know how he absorbs all that information and recategorizes it and then conveys it. I don't know how he does that. It's amazing. And then you just like, yeah, Dave got mopped. You're like, on what planet, in what universe is that what you saw? And then you just realize, oh, it's just because he was pro-Israel and Dave's anti-Israel. That's honestly what it came down to every single time. Everyone who was out there defending Douglas Murray was just about Israel. By the way, didn't see any of them talk about the Russia-Ukraine debate, which Doug is pro-Ukraine in the sense that he wants to continue the war. Notice the MAGA right-wing people didn't bring that part up. That was interesting. I thought that it's like one of the biggest platforms, right? It's one of the biggest MAGA things, America First, right? So we're not going to continue the Ukraine war. Weird. You didn't think he made great points about that particular issue. Fucking insane. And I'm like, I'm not like I don't have a camp, you know? Like there's comments like on this. I'll read some of it to you. Like but there are comments that especially have been recently left on like my video that like just because I think Murray was a pompous ass who was basically doing like credentialism and dismissing a guy who is not I'm just a comedian, bro. He's not at all. And because like, where are we here? And just because of that, because I had a problem with the way he debated, I had a problem with the trust the experts argument. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. I guess just call me old school, but I don't really like being told what I can and can't talk about, what others can and can't talk about. And in fact, that's how we ended up where we were. Okay. Was that exact like elitism? And Rogan, of all people, you're saying that to Joe Rogan? The one lone voice in the COVID insanity? Excuse me. Sorry, I must be woke if I have a problem with that. Fucking children, bro. It's like, just learn how to debate. Learn how to discuss things. Take on the issues. Take on the topics. Or are you afraid you don't have like a good position? It's like, all right, well, maybe that's an issue. Maybe if you can't defend your own position, maybe your position's got a problem. Do you think about that, maybe? Is that, like, ever going to run through your head? Unbelievable. Here we go. This is just about 2 hours ago from a guy named No Kanga. Listen to this. Murray destroyed Dave. Destroyed. You could still walk away from that and be like, okay, Murray made some good point. Destroyed? What are your qualifications for destruction, bro? Because he did not. I wouldn't say Dave picked apart Doug because he was too patient. He let him say dumb shit. And he let him go off on tangents and change the subject and try to reframe everything and have, like just debated and discuss things in the most like, what's the word? Not just passionate, but like, dismissive and like evasive manner. Like refused to actually discuss things. He had no idea who he was talking to. He didn't know that like Dave Smith does like Oxford style debates for fun. He didn't know that, definitely. And he doesn't know that he talks. And I listened to part of the problem like, I guess they put out like 4 or 5 shows a week. I listen to at least 2. I really like that show. I really like the things that Dave says. He thought he was just like one of these, I'm just a podcaster, bro guy. Oops. So this guy starts off with, Murray destroyed Dave. Unreal. And demonstrated that Dave's entire narrative is based on cherry-picked information from sources that support his bias. Oh, that's what Dave was doing. Really? I don't know where you got that impression because Doug refused to engage with the argument, so it's really kind of hard to even tell that. But I guarantee you, like, Dave's not going to be the one who's going to switch topics or appeal to authority with logical fallacies and stuff like that. I guarantee you, if you just actually had, like, a respectful debate, you would have seen that. Like Murray said, if you're going to spend over a year attacking an area, wouldn't you make an effort to at least go there and confirm your accusations? No. What kind of first of all, it's a war zone. Like they're currently at war. He's going to go visit a war zone so he can confirm the information he's reading about. Like I was going to do a follow-up video to this, but I was just like, let it go. But the thing is, like, Murray's position on, like, having been there, bro, okay, fine. That would matter in the context of a particular facet of the discussion, right? Like if Dave asserted something, let's just say something like Dave says that in Tel Aviv they don't wear pink. It's illegal, right? And then like Murray's like, no, that's not true. I've been to Tel Aviv. They very much do wear pink. I've seen women wearing pink, right? You'd be like, okay, in that context, his personal like experience does affect the conversation and is a valid source of information, 100%. But there are other ways that Dave could learn about the fashion of Tel Aviv. He could look at pictures. He could read books. He could talk to people who live there, and they could tell him. He can acquire information other ways than just having to go there. And I don't know if you noticed, this conflict is actually rather popular or rather talked about, kind of like all the constant fuckingly time. So there's a lot of sources of information to get from. You do not have to go there to talk about it. Like, also, do you know how quickly that disqualifies so many people about talking about things? Like, I guarantee you these people are not, like, censoring themselves with that. I guarantee you they're not just like, oh, I've never been to Russia. I better not weigh in on whether we should fund Ukraine or not. I've never been to Mexico, so maybe I shouldn't talk about the southern border. Fucking bullshit. No one's towing that line. You're just using it because you think it makes you win the argument. What it does, it makes you look weak. Makes you look like you can't discuss the actual issues. You're just trying to find a way to discredit him. That is a complete non-argument. And as Dave pointed out in the podcast, there's plenty of people who've been there who agree with him and plenty who agree with you. It doesn't change, means nothing. It's a complete non-argument. So if Dave went there and then still thought the same way, now you'd have a discussion with him, like, respectfully? Fucking horseshit. Horseshit. Dave's retort made himself look even more amateurish. Once again, I don't know what you were watching. I don't know what the hell you were watching. I don't know what you saw, but that is not what happened, okay? Like, I would just want one of these guys to not be crazy pro-Israel. You know what I mean? Just one. Because you're like, oh, it's like so consistent. You're like, okay, so this is just about the war. You're just taking his side because he's on the side of your conflict. That's why. Okay, I mean, that's weak. It's ironic that Gaza is not only calling Hamas the real terrorists who hid behind and used children. It's ironic that Gaza is not only calling Hamas the real... Now I don't even know what he's saying. Gaza is also calling Israel to free them from the Hamas terrorist oppression, which confirms everything Murray said since he returned from the area. Okay, whatever. I don't know what this fucking guy's going on about, but, like, unbelievably poor argument structure and just, like, go debate. Another comment. Go debate your ideas with other commentary YouTubers, little boy. It's like, okay, you watched it. You clicked on it. This is the corner of commentary YouTube that you were on. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously invested enough time to click on the video, so you don't think the whole medium is invalid, do you? This is commentary YouTube, which you sought out, and I just picked apart this pompous ass, and you have a problem with that. Oh well. Man, Murray fucked you up, you woke shites. I'm woke now. I'm woke now because I think Murray is a pompous ass who didn't respect Dave, didn't engage in arguments, constant appeal to authority fallacies, flat out lying. I mean, you didn't go there, so you can't discuss it. Bullshit. Yeah, I'm woke now. That's what woke is. I'm pretty sure woke is being, like, blindly committed to something without evidence supporting it and, like, just consumed by an ideology. I'm pretty sure that's what woke is. And you know who sounds woke in this dynamic? It's not me. And it ain't Dave Smith, okay? It's this whole contingent of people that somehow we don't even need to support evidence. We're just right. Like, biblically right. Doesn't matter. We have a blank check to do whatever we want. Okay, I don't see it that way, and I'm not going to see it that way, and you should have to discuss this and debate it, okay? If you're going to wipe out a fucking city, you have to defend it. You can't just, like, nope, they were bad. It's like, oof, okay, I don't know. Doesn't look great. Lagabos, Douglas Murray disappointed me, but Rogan loves Graham Hancock, which is hilarious. Murray takes himself too seriously these days. Yeah, embarrassing. Listless. If it was an Israel debate, that is still going to be super boring at this point, in my opinion. I don't know. Like, I thought, like, once they finally got into the debate, it was actually pretty decent. Like, Murray was no more genteel in his arguments. He was no more respectful, but at least both sides just got to talk. And I thought, like, he did at times make some good points. He's like, kind of like, listen, we tried The IDF tried to go into these buildings and just get the Hamas terrorists, but they were daisy chained with explosives, big ammunition that would just level the building around the soldiers. So what are they supposed to do? And you're like, no, fuck, God, that's like a great point. I don't know how substantiated it is, but if that's accurate, that is a totally reasonable point of view. It's like they shouldn't have to go die because Hamas is like, savages. Like, that's fair. Totally fair point. It's just like, and those points, more of those points could have got out if like Doug actually discussed the thing the way, a mature adult does, which is fair and in good faith. But he did not do that. He just knew he had to go in there and like stomp on like conversations he didn't even know of. He didn't even listen to clearly. He just knew he had to go in there and be like, no, wrong, Rogan. Hello, small time. Good to see you, buddy. Zelensky tried to use "you haven't been there" argument on Vance in regard to Ukraine in an attempt to silence. Yeah, that's another great point Dave pointed out. He's like, yeah, you were in Ukraine and you said we could win that war, and whoopsie daisy. Oopsie, not the case, huh? Not the case at all. Like, look, like, if you guys if you were like, hey, the homelessness problem in like Austin or LA, like two cities I've lived in, is out of control, but you've never been there, I'd be like, no, yeah, you're right, it is. Like, you don't have to go to have that opinion. If you said it wasn't or something like that, I'd be like, listen, I live there, it is. Then I feel like I've got a little bit more of an authority to say something about it. But, like, you could acquire information about it. It's 2025, man. Everyone's got an HD 4K camera in their pocket. Information's documented. There are lots of sources. Everyone's talking. The internet is constant exchange of information. You do not have to be in a place to understand it, right? Like, it's the weakest, such a weak argument. Halagabolis, at least Murry doesn't play the gay card. I didn't even know he was gay. I swear I didn't know that. There was someone in my comments, in the comments on the video said that. I was like, oh, really? I didn't know. I genuinely did not know that. It's pretty weird to be like a gay, like Oxford-educated neocon. It's just weird to be like, yeah, we should be bombing the fuck out of the world. No, give me that dick. It's such a weird human. It's like, okay, all right. What's up, Ruben? Matt is woke, needs to be magged to get the chicks. Oh yeah, I forgot. Ruben, you have a vested interest in this one though, brother. I understand. You should be like, yeah, that Murray guy, what a that Dave Smith guy's a clown, Okay, sweetie. Yeah. you should absolutely be Team Douglas Murray. I understand. You've got a reason to care about that. Yeah, what's up, such a dildo? Yo, baguettes, drop it in to say sup, do your thing. I just don't give a fuck about any of this. Have a white one, colonizers. Okay. All right. Well, good to see you, Ascension Dildo. Ta-ta, sir. On a scale of wokeness, 90% of Canadians are way woker than Matt. I'm not woke. I do not respect this designation. But yeah, no, it's brutal. Sounds, you know what I mean? And that's my impression of Canada. I've been to Canada, but like not recently. So, but I could still be like, Canada's pretty fucking woke. That's my impression. Now, if you want to be like, hey, listen, Alberta's pretty based, I'd be like, okay, that's new information I can add to like my knowledge. But like, I don't have to go to Canada to know they're woke as fuck. I don't have to go to know that. I've collected enough information. I've heard enough accounts to conclude that confidently. I do not have to go there to prove it. I know that for a fact, okay? I've never been to Seattle or Portland, and I can tell you those places are extremely woke, okay? Might be you might have a more, clear picture if you go. But if all I did was read about the woke stuff that's going on in Seattle and Portland, I could still have a very clear idea of what's going on there without having to go. That's the thing. I think he just assumes it's just like the other people. Like they just think like I'm just default anti-Israel because I'm like Douglas Murray was an asshole. It's like, no, I think you're just default pro-Israel because you're not not analyzing this conversation like maturely. You're just like, no, like we're not. It's no matter what. It's like Israel's right. You're just like, okay. I think you're the one with the default point of view, man. Matt lives in Austin. Goddamn Austin. See? You're doing what Douglas Murray did. This is a fallacy, right? Simply because a town may have ideology doesn't mean I subscribe to it. And I don't. I know you're just kidding, but that's just another logical fallacy, another debate fallacy. But like I said, you have to be on this. I get it. Listless. Canada is insufferably woke, and everyone will tell you that, yeah. MAGA woke equal oxymoron. No, not anymore, unfortunately. It's just a different breed. James Lindsay was right about the woke right, but he had the wrong target. I heard Austin isn't really even woke. It is, but it's not bad. But it like in polite company, I don't discuss politics. Like in mixed company where I don't know, because people are still pretty passionate about it. Like I went to this bar, like this is years ago. But I went to this bar and I was talking with this girl and we were having a good discussion. And I said that I was a Trump supporter. Well, I guess one of the bartenders overheard that, because the next time I was in that bar, another bartender who wasn't even there that night was just like, how could you be a Trump supporter? Like gave me shit about it. And I was like, what? Like, what? And I was just like, you guys are like gossiping about my politics? She's like, oh, it's not gossip. I was like, that's not gossip. She's like, it's not gossip because we weren't lying. Like, that's what gossip. I was like, that is gossip. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And yeah, so, no, it's pretty woke here. But, you know, it's like everywhere you go, there's like pride flags and stuff like that. It's pretty woke. But it's not like that bad. And there's just enough normal dudes who are just like, all right, whatever. You know, we just don't get involved. And also, like, Rogan's here. You know, like, the identity of the city has changed so much. You know, like, it used to be known for live music, but, like, I don't see that much live music around. I feel like it's really more of a comedy town than anything when it comes to the arts, you know. That's the most vibrant and happening scene in Austin, is the comedy for sure. Obviously, you got the Mothership and Kill Tony and stuff, but, like, the other clubs and all the new young comics who've moved here, like, it's a vibe, bro. It's an absolute vibe. But so much is going on. I think, what's it called? I think Michael Malice is doing a talk at the end of the month. I might go. I think it's going to be him and Kurt. Hey, Goopers. Kurt Metzger. So, no one is laughing in Canada anymore. No. But that's all I wanted to say about that. There were some few things I wanted to follow up about that thing. I just, like, wanted to get off my chest. Just, like, fucking annoying. But wanted to talk about that. Okay. I'm a little annoyed Sentient Dildo isn't here, because I basically have this clip for him, because I think it's hilarious. I wish he'd stuck around for this one. But and I don't have anything to say. It's just funny. And maybe I should follow up the discussion about Israel-Palestine with this particular song. So I'm just going to disclaim, because there might be some new people here, because I picked up some new, a bunch of new subs over the weekend. I don't endorse this, okay? This does not reflect my worldview. I don't think this is funny because of what it's endorsing. I think it's funny because he's doing this, all right? So I just want to make that crystal clear so no one gets the wrong idea. But Kanye West has a new song. And, wow. Like, I can't believe it, honestly. Like, when I heard it, I was like, yeah. Oh my God. Like, this was weeks ago. This tweet is from April 6th, but I bookmarked it because, yo. Okay, so I won't play it. I won't say anything about it. Like I said, this does not reflect my worldview. I just think it's fucking hilarious. So I think it's an off-med song, listless. So, okay, now the last time this happened, last time I played something on my stream, the volume was super high. I can't adjust that. So let me know if this is super loud. I'm sorry. I will try to adjust the mic. I don't know, but yeah. So here we go. This is Kanye's new song.
All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how nigga, how nigga, how all my niggas Nazis, nigga, how you wanna fight the bands? I put the chrome on the bands.
Oh my God. That is going to put some neo-Nazis in a really awkward spot. They are going to be it's very difficult for them to, on one hand, okay, he's bigging up the big guy, and on the other hand, he's black. What? It's like Kanye is the new Clayton Bigsby. You know, remember that Dave Chappelle character? That's Kanye now. Kanye's Clayton Bigsby. He's the black white supremacist. I just needed that. Just needed to play that because that is so goddamn funny to me. All my N-words, Nazis, N-words. That's fucked up. Because now it's like anyone who's seen with you, that now you've announced to the world that they're Nazis. They don't even have any plausible deniability anymore. If you're seen around Kanye, now you hate Jews automatically. Yikes. Yikes. He divorced Kim because she likes black guys. Dude, Chappelle's show was the best. Chappelle's show was so goddamn funny, man. Ooh, speaking of black guys getting divorced, Obama. Did you hear about that? Obama is getting divorced from Big Mike. Pretty wild. That's not something I saw coming. Is that for her presidential run? Maybe she said she's ever going to do. I don't know. That's weird. Not that I care. I generally don't gossip about people's relationships, but it's just like, that's weird. Just feels like, Clinton and Bill stayed together. You know what I mean? Like, or Clinton and Bill. Sorry, Hillary and Bill. You know, that's odd. Very strange. I wonder what that's about. Anyway, his next song should be called Prescription Refill. Yeah, he's really off the goddamn deep end. I tell you what. Matt's in Mikey's DMs. Yo, what up, Michelle? We see what you're doing with your big ass and balls. Lou Maldonado. Why does that name sound so familiar? Lou Maldonado. Hello, Lou. Is Crockett and AOC serving drinks with witty jokes later? Crockett? I don't know who Crockett is. I saw AOC at the rally. She's looking pretty good, to be honest. She got that spicy Latina booty. What was that? What did he say? What's that? Alex Stein. What was that joke that he was saying? The spicy Latina. The whole. I don't know. I can't remember. It was too long ago. But I thought she looked pretty. I was like, oh, AOC got that cake. Oh yeah, but I got top comment on Big Mike's last podcast episode. Really? What'd you say? Congratulations, by the way, Cotton. Huge achievement. What'd you say? I'd love to know. I would love to know what you said. I wanted to scroll back real quick just because someone said something about my sweatshirt and I missed it and I wanted to hear what that was. I can't find it. Oh well. I was curious. I wanted to talk about it because this is the Razorback from The Expanse. Yeah. I don't really have much more on the Kanye thing. I just thought that was hilarious. I just was like, that's gotta good. I gotta play that. That's great. Okay, so there's a few things I want to do today. I did want to do the Bill Maher becoming Maga thing. I think that's really interesting. And then, yeah, let's just do it. And then, but then really at one point, I want to. Sargon did this video maybe like last week, and I want to chew on the whole thing. Like I want to do like a what's it called? Like not EFAP, but was Asmongold like style reaction. Like I want to go through the whole thing because I have like some really strong feelings about this particular video. So once I get these other stories out of the way, I'm just gonna switch and just go and like go through this whole video. So we're gonna get there in just a moment. Pause the video, straight to the comments. Who else? And what was the who else implying? You're just saying? Are just the comments a blast? That was like what's it called? What's his name? Douglas Murray went on Chris Williamson's podcast, and that was like all the comments were just like here for the comments. Yeah, he really did some irreparable damage to his credibility. I think anyone reasonable, and that's what I think MAGA is supposed to be, is reasonable. More like maybe right-leaning, middle of the road. There's definitely some people who like go all the way, but the point, I think a lot of people who help get Trump elected are reasonable, and that is like the point. And if you're completely unreasonable, it's just kind of like, all right, well, No. Alagables, imagine waking up the day after 2028 election and seeing AOC as our next president. No. No, that would be bad, but she'll never be president. She's too much of an idiot. Oh, you were making juvenile comments about your hoodie? That's fine. That's fine. That's all good. Okay, so this one's great. I think this is fantastic. I feel like this story should have gotten more press. I don't know why this just came and went, but for me, I thought this was the type of thing that really should have been everywhere. Okay, let me switch here. Oh, by the way, was the volume okay on the last video? Hi, Zax, by the way. Good to see you, pal. Was that too much? Because it was, like I said, a few weeks ago, I just blew out everyone's eardrums, and I didn't mean to, but, you know, I hope this is okay. So this video was going all around, and I should have been a bigger story. Should have been a much bigger story. So volume was okay? Great. Okay, cool.
To go. How much more repression, how big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker, and how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist.
Right? Pelosi was a snack, huh? Yeah, and she got those big mommy milkers, as we all learned a few years ago, kind of against our will. She got the heavies. But, yeah, sexy Pelosi, you know? She's looking pretty good. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I didn't really, oh, no. She a whole ass meal. Okay. They had video in 1952. I honestly was not aware that, like, I guess I just started following politics recently, but I like was not aware that Pelosi and these people had been in politics like this long. This is 95, I think. I guess it makes sense, but like, I just wasn't aware of that.
Before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo. As I mentioned, it's about jobs, proliferation, and human rights. And there are those who say we shouldn't link human rights and trade.
Okay, I'm going to be right back, but I'm going to play the video and just watch because I can't believe that this is crazy Nancy Pelosi. This is her take from 1995.
And proliferation and trade, I disagree. But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? On exports, China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%, and it's limited.
Nancy Pelosi is Maga. She's one of us. Can you believe this? I mean, she was talking about Trump tariffs in 95. This is Nancy Pelosi. Like, crazy. This is 30 years ago. Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy, was talking about Trump tariffs. And she's right. And like she talks about, I don't know if she talked about it in this video, but there was something like the trade deficit was like, you know, in the billions, and now it's like it's like 200 billion or something. Like it's exploded since then. Like, I can't say I understand all this, you know, like the whole trade war that's going on. I'm not gonna pretend I get it. I hope he's doing the right thing. You know, I believe in him. I believe in the plan. I'm not gonna be a panicking. I'm not a panicking. Okay, don't you be a panicking either. But I don't really know. But I just think it's like, this is hilarious. Like, so this thing you guys have all been losing your collective minds about, not only do you actually think is a good idea? You went into the House of Congress and suggested it and endorsed it. This was your idea? Like, yo, bro. Yo. Come on. Oh, click the wrong play button.
List because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.
Who the hell does this sound like? It sure as shit don't sound like Nancy Pelosi. It sounds like Donald J. Trump. Like, all the comments in this video were just like, damn, dude, Trump really is a 90s Democrat. And it's like, I guess he is. Like, they've been losing their minds about this, been feeding disinformation through, their own speeches and the media. And Nancy Pelosi's still on her bullshit today. I saw her, talking about how, the new voter ID law is, won't allow women who got married to vote because the name's not. It's like, shut up. That's not what's happening, obviously. I didn't even watch the whole fucking video about it. Like, it's just like, that's clearly not going to happen, obviously. Although women probably should vote less, to be fair. That's not what's happening. You're not losing your right to vote. Fucking relax. So she's still on that bullshit. But it's just like, I was stunned. You will not believe the next character in this video. You will not believe who it is.
U.S.-China trade. The president, in his statement, requesting this special waiver, said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser. And
Nancy Pelosi, ladies and gentlemen. Nancy Pelosi. Unbelievable. Like, this should have been national news for a week. This clip should have been on every major news platform, should have been shared everywhere. It's just crazy. It's like, oh, you mean the guy that you think is Hitler, right? Who's like the worst fascist, going to end democracy, shares your views. Interesting. That's weird. That's a strange revelation. NAFTA, a good idea, poorly executed, meaning we outsource so much to Asia versus making North America great again. Yeah, agreed. We should have kept manufacturing over here. There's no reason between North America we can't make anything. Yeah, we can't make everything. Yeah. I mean, some of it makes sense. I get it. But, strategically it makes no sense, because if something catastrophic does happen, and it's like we've lived through the world, things do happen. It's like, yeah, you're kind of on your ass, And we do have a lot of natural resources. I mean, Alaska has got so many natural resources. It's a brutal environment, but it's resource rich. I looked into that. I was like, damn, this is wild. And there's so much timber. There's so much oil in America. We should be harvesting these resources and using them, especially the renewable ones, like trees, like lumber. You know what I mean? You can replant trees. She sure does. She was on Bill's team back then. So wild. She's sober here. Even that's amazing. I know. She's articulate. I kind of get it. Like I said, 95 Nancy Pelosi, she could get it. We don't need anything from any other continent, period. Let's go. I love isolationist listless. Let's go. Eat shit, China, Europe. Although I do drive a Japanese car. So I kind of need it. But I bought it now, so no tariff issues here, baby. Let's go. All right.
And one of the reasons that it is because first let me just make another point, and that is that our colleagues on the other side of this issue will say the trade with China, exports to China have increased 3 times in the last 10 years. They have. But they fail to mention that imports from China have increased 11 times, thereby leading to this huge trade deficit. The other issue, in addition, if intellectual property is a $2 billion, $3 billion loss, technology transfer.
Yeah, Lagables. Yeah, I think Trump played it wrong with the Canada thing, because they were not having it. There were a lot of people. Hey, look, it's Luke. Hey, buddy. Say hi to everybody. It's the Lukey Moo. Look at him. Look at this handsome boy. But I think he played it wrong. I think he should have appealed to the people of Canada, really. I think he should have been like, look what they did to you. Look at all this stuff. Apparently Alberta's like super into it. But I think he should have turned the people against the politicians, because it's really the politicians more than anything that are making it super gay. But yeah, I think he kind of ended up codifying a lot of people against him, which wasn't a great move. We could have absolutely been more united with Canada. We do like Canada, It's just, Trump just wasn't playing games. Not playing any games, Nancy is on fire here. She's even diving into IP. Yeah, it's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of it, is all the intellectual property. They really do just like steal. And, you invent something, they just like steal the information. They just make the Chinese version, sell it cheaper, and undercut the market. They don't play fair. Like I was watching one of those guys from Shark Tank was like, yeah, I can't take them to court. There's nothing I can do. He's like, the tariff should be 400%. I don't want them in the World Trading Organization. They don't play fair. I'm like, based. Fucking based. I like it a lot. No, Canada played this whole thing wrong. We have no leader right now. Carney is Team China. No, I know. But I think he could have utilized the populace, right, instead of alienating them and kind of uniting them against him, which I think is what ended up happening. I think he should have talked to the people, talked around the politicians, and just been like, listen, I might be style Canadians. Canadians are great. Love Canadians, But I think like all that kind of, we're going to make it the 51st state and, all that stuff, I think ended up, as funny as it was, I think it ended up backfiring pretty spectacularly, in the sense that it just united the country against anything conservative or MAGA. Ends up getting like another ultra liberal in there, just basically more Trudeau, which sucks. It sucks for Canada and sucks for Canadian-American relations. Like I think, MAGA people, MAGA politicians just would prefer, I think, would work with a more conservative kind of MAGA-like Canada. We ain't going to get that now. So that's an issue, especially around an election. I think he could have handled that better. Let's go, Nancy Cook.
Is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. If you want to sell to China, your products into China, the Chinese insist that you open a factory there. They misappropriate your technology, open factories of their own, and then say to you, now we want to see your plan for export. That's as simply as I can say it briefly. But the fact is, this isn't about products made in America. The Chinese want American products that are made in China. And the most serious of these transfers of technology are in the airline.
Dude, Trump should have tweeted this. He should have been like, Nancy endorses me. It's crazy. She's like passionately and like informed. Oh, 96. I thought it was 95. Okay, 96. Talking about exactly what Trump's talking about. And the thing is, my mom was like, oh, that was the 90s. Things are different now. I'm like, yeah, they're worse. They're way worse. Yeah, things are different. They got worse, Isn't this crazy, listless? I know. Like, it's absolutely nuts. Like, this is Trump's position through and through, and she's making the argument for it well, and she's one of the ones acting like it's crazy what he's suggesting. It's like, so was it crazy when you suggested it? Did you get sane? What happened here? 29 years ago when you were on the floor of the House talking about it, was it crazy then, or is it just crazy because Trump said it? I'm pretty sure it's the latter. If we just taken the other timeline, the mid-90s, but we didn't. Yeah, well, we had it too good. We didn't realize how good we had it, And we let the fox in the hen house, unfortunately. And, we were being good, liberal, like West, like in the kind of political sense, liberal people, and backfired pretty bad. But we're now way more aware of it. I certainly didn't consume. Obviously, I was 11 when she was saying this, when she was talking about this. But I'm paying attention now, and a lot of people are paying attention too. And you can't control the narrative anymore. You can't. You just see this Israel thing, right? That's coming from like kind of like the base of like the MAGA, who are like, the ones in charge, the ones who are like the popular. Giant divide, big chasm on the right wing right now over Israel. You can't control the narrative, man. Not anymore. That shit over. The Bush-Obama regime, 16-year regime, was such nonsense. No shit, Elagabolas. No shit. Uniparty through and through.
airline industry, where Boeing tail sections of the Boeing 737s were mostly made in Wichita, Kansas. Now they are made in Shen province, where workers make $50 a month. And they had the transfer of the technology and the transfer of the jobs has taken place. General Motors, Ford, they're all fighting to get in to build factories there so they can make parts there. They want MFN so they can get those parts back into the United States. So we are exporting not low-tech jobs and textile jobs. We're exporting our technology. Now, if you take a country the size of China with the very cheap, and in some instances, slave labor, the lack of market access, the rip-off of our intellectual property.
I mean, talking about slave labor. These are 2025 Trump talking points from Nancy Pelosi. Why is this not still being talked about? This was, when was this tweet? I mean, news moves so goddamn fast now. This is from April 3rd. April 3rd this is from. Get the hell out of here. Like, unbelievable. Like, this just came and went. Why? This is the biggest opposition. Wait, is this not? Oh, is this only Pelosi? Oh, shit.
Think for one going to take 30.
Damn it. There's another one. There's another video of goddamn Bernie Sanders saying the same shit. Bernie Sanders, same thing, making the same tariff arguments about China. Bernie Sanders. The oligarchs are in control. Bernie Sanders. That guy. That same guy who's making the goddamn MAGA arguments at the House. Bizarro world, dude. And these, like, the complete lack of integrity by these people. The complete lack of, like, any sort of, like, principles. You could even be like, listen, I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. The economy's changed. No, you're just, like, steamrolling right ahead. He's a Nazi. Unreal. It's like unbelievable. His two most vocal opponents think what he thinks, or at least used to. Crazy. Utterly nuts. But the craziness doesn't stop there, folks. No, it doesn't. The craziness keeps flipping going because Bill Maher, that's what I chose a very provocative thumbnail today. But I'm trying to up my thumbnail game in general. Just trying to get the clicks. It worked on the last video. I was hoping it would work on this live stream. Bill Maher. Bill fucking Maher. Now, he's been kind of getting slowly based a little bit, if you guys have been paying attention to any of that. He's kind of eking towards rational observations, not just a default, like, knee-jerk, like, reaction. He's been pretty reasonable, to be completely honest. And it's been nice to see. I'm not, like, now a fan of Bill Maher, but he's been getting there a little bit. He's been slowly going there. Well, prepare to have your mind blown. Prepare for this. Crazy.
Thank you. So meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign before I left for the Capitol.
He's talking about meeting up with Trump, by the way. Donald Trump. Yeah. Alagables. Maher called Trump a dictator on the eve of the election, but maybe there's hope. Bro, I know at least one liberal in LA in particular whose head is fucking exploding after this. I had a friend of mine who, back when I lived in LA, we were buddies, but man, that the whole political divide, he's a black dude, I guess BLM got in his brain, I don't know. But we ended up ending our friendship, and it had to do with politics, unfortunately. But I couldn't hang out with the guy anymore. It was just I was constantly getting lectures from him, and it was just like, dude, you know me. You know who I am. Like, please treat me as an individual, dude. Stop judging me on this shit. And he wouldn't, He's dating some real woke girl. And we stopped being friends. It sucks because he was my best friend. We were writing a television show together. And, no, you just, like, how long can you be fucking argued at for, just being the wrong everything? It's like, all right, man, I guess my character has not exceeded you know, your characterizations of who I am. I don't know, man. So can't hang out with you anymore. But he loved Bill Maher. And he hated Trump. So alrighty.
I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did.
Bro. This is Bill Maher. I'll remind you. I know who it looks like, but I just want to let you know that this is officially, it's not an AI deepfake, okay? It's not a filter. This is Bill Maher getting a kick out of Trump. Okay? All right? I just want to point this out. I want to just remind you, you are not dreaming. You're not under the influence of any hallucinogens. Well, you might be, but even if you are not misseeing what's happening. This is the liberal messiah. They're, one of their biggest champions is getting a kick out of Trump, and it continues from here.
Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Bro, we live in the craziest timeline. This is it. This is the craziest timeline possible. Bro, that was like his mortal enemy, is like Donald Trump. And now he's being like, I don't hate him enough, go screw. Yo, what's happening, bro? I can't like fathom it. I can't this is happening? This is really happening? My word.
So, no, I didn't go MAGA. And to the president's credit, there was...
So I was a little misleading with my thumbnail. I'm sorry. But I did. It was a question mark. Okay? I didn't lie. I was just asking. Just asking questions.
No pressure to. After we left the Oval Office, he showed me the little room off the office, the one where Clinton used to... Okay. The blowjob room. Okay. Well, not anymore. That's where they keep the merch now. It is. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated. The guy I met is not the person who the night before the dinner shit-tweeted a bunch of nasty crap about how he thought this dinner was a bad idea and what a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house. But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump want respect? Of course, who doesn't? My friend said to me, what are you going to wear to the White House? I said, I don't know, but I'm not going to dress like Zelensky, I'll tell you that.
Dude. Yo, listen. We won, okay? We really, really won. This isn't like, this is not 2016 at all. We won. The culture is shifting dramatically. We won. This is not at all. This ain't 2020. It ain't 2016. This is 2025, baby, and things are different. Like this is the liberal mouthpiece guy. That's his thing. That's his thing. That's his whole gimmick, is to be, you know, the snarky, kind of funny arm of like the Democratic Party. And here he is shit talking Zelensky, being, you know, he hasn't really got to the cool parts about Trump, but he will. Going to the White House respectfully, acknowledging the office out of respect. Bro, this is wild.
But, okay. Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. No. Okay, example. In the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know, the best thing about him, his hair. I said, well, there was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door. But no, he laughed, he got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true. I'm telling you.
Dude, how much would you want to see this conversation? Like, you know that term fly on the wall? Like, how much would you love to just witness this? You know, going in cold. Billy the Kid. Hello, Billy the Kid. Ireland belongs to the Irish. Fucking no arguments here, pal. No arguments here, my friend. I'm with you on that. Don't know what that has to do with anything right now, but it's not a bad point. Ireland does belong to the Irish. England belongs to the English. Not that you guys generally are all that favorable about that. I have a buddy here from County Cork, and he does not like the English at all. He's made points. And not just about the politics, the actual character of the people, which is pretty funny. But yeah, no, absolutely. White people are allowed to exist. White cultures are allowed to exist. We've kind of, I think we're all over, well, Europe. Boy, some of you guys, holy shit. The Irish are different, though. Fuck yeah. You're welcome. Irish are different than the rest of Europe. They always have been. But man, a lot of those Europeans are cooked. And it is pathetic to see. And like, they're like, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't love all the Muslim rape gangs, but I don't want to be racist. Like, okay. Like, that's a weird priority to have, buddy. But all right, fair. But no, Ireland does indeed belong to the Irish, Billy.
What happened? At one point, we were walking through it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly.
It's amazing. Best tour you've ever seen, Bill. Good tour, right?
What we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. Is that Dana? I don't know who the other guy on the left next to Bill is. Do you guys know? Do you know who that is? Because that's Kid Rock, as Small Time's pointing out. Kid Rock wore a suit for the meeting. Guess he thought the wife beater was too informal. Yeah, I'd agree. And a pink tie. Interesting look. You know, a little flashy. Pink tie. And then, you know, Dana White, obviously. Fucking goated. And the king himself. The emperor. The God Emperor Trump at the head of the table where he belongs. But I don't know who that other guy on the left is. That sort of heavy-set fellow. Crazy, bro. This is still nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, it's probably easy for people to be like, oh, he was always, you know, full of shit. He's just an entertainer. And that's fair. Might be. Very well may be the case. But I don't get that impression at all. I think Bill Maher, this is coming from the heart. I think he's being sincere about everything he's saying. And I think this is like a genuine like pivot in who he is as a person.
Just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before,
Bob.
He said, if you want to get a word in
Bob, he says. He calls Kid Rock Bob. Yeah.
edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy. I want.
Next week, we'll have Maher giving insight on UFC bouts. That's funny, man. He's going to start, like, hawking test. He's going to start having, like, testosterone and, like, Patriot Supply sponsors. He's going to start talking about, what's some other outfit? She's selling sheath underwear, you know? This is so... I'm just in awe of this entire thing. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole video. There's another kind of a little while longer, but I'll play a little bit more for now.
Want your opinion, sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it. I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense.
Sorry, I'd just like to remind you, once again, you are not dreaming. I am not, these are not an AI clip at all. This is real life. And Bill Maher is commending Trump for his border policy, his lack of trans men, women in sports, and the cops. Okay, this is Bill Maher being pro-Trump right now. I just want to remind you that this podcast is authentic. These clips are from real sources. I didn't make them up.
And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none. I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him. He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton.
That's fucking ballsy. Mar-a-Lago. That's funny, small time. Mar-a-Lago. Yo, I might steal that. Could I steal that if I clip this out and make a video? That is so funny, dude. Can I take that? That rules. That's so funny, Mar-a-Lago. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take that, bro. That's so good. Unless you don't want me to, then I won't. But that's so funny. Okay, thanks, man. Mar-a-Lago. That was, what did, Senshin Dildo one time said about when they were talking about the H-1B visas, and he called it Operation Pooper Clip. Yeah, that was deviously funny, too. Oh, my God. Alagabolas, do the midnight talk show idiots try to book Trump? That would be a genuine sea change. No, probably not. Like, I think they're probably appalled at this. I think they're probably horrified that Bill Maher is taking this direction. That he took the meeting and it didn't go on his show and trash him. That he's giving him credit for not only like, his policies, but his actual character. And it's like that's what you hear when people meet Trump. For the most part, that's what you hear is this kind of like he's a great dude. He's a good listener. He's a good conversationalist. He's very cool. Like Jim Norton. Comedian Jim Norton, he did a UFC podcast with Trump, and Jim Norton's pretty liberal. I think he supported Trump the first time around. I don't think he did this time. And he's pretty liberal. He's married to a trans woman, so yeah, pretty liberal. But he praised him, talked about his like how cool he was and just how like easy he is to talk to, how much he knew about fights. The people that know Trump seem to really speak very highly of him. And this is still just blowing my mind. We were talking about Bill Maher. Crazy.
And Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days.
Let's go.
He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. I know. He said to Dana White, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile, as if to say, yeah, I get it. The most surreal part of the whole night.
Dude, the thing about Trump, too, is like you have to remember, like, homie knows how to generate clicks, right? Like, if he was a YouTuber, he'd be Mr. Beast. He'd be the biggest thing on the platform. Like, he knows how to get his name in the conversation. He knows how to get press. Like, when he was all about that birther stuff, that was the first I remember ever hearing about him as a potential presidential candidate. And I remember thinking, what a joke. What is this? I was still pretty liberal back then. That was probably like 2010, right? 2011. When he was going on about that stuff. And I remember like not taking it seriously and just being like, what even is this? Like, but then again, my mind was pretty conspiratorial too. So when it went on, when it was finally released and Alex Jones was like dissecting it, I was watching that too. And I thought the whole thing was a weird conversation. Anyway, but him, like, he was in the news. He was in the conversation. Whether or not he was being an ass or not, he was in the story. And that is one thing that Trump understands, dude. Like, if you think back to the 2016 election, like, the press, they did his campaigning for him. They gave him so much paper. So much time on late night news and all that stuff. I mean, he was all anyone was talking about. Like, I was living in LA at the time. And I remember the first time I even heard about Trump's running was, you absolutely cannot vote for this guy. He is the worst. Like, that was the first thing I remember hearing about. And I was just like, whoa. Okay, I'm going to kind of look into it for myself, if that's okay, before I just, like, take your clearly very biased word for it. And that whole campaign, he just, it wasn't. Obviously, he campaigned, he went places, but I mean, in the press, they did all the work for him. They were like, can you believe this? Can you? Outraged every day about something new. And Fox News, by the way, everyone forgets that, but Fox News was not supportive of Trump either. They did not think he had a chance. They did not want him in there. They wanted the good old boy, neocon club. They didn't like him. But man, he knew exactly how to get under everyone's skin. He knew exactly what to say. He understood the people. He understood the process. He understood entertainment. He got it. And say what you will, man, but that motherfucker understands that shit. The speaker at the 2011 press dinner motivated Trump to run for president. You goddamn right. I bet you Obama wish he never said that shit. Oopsie. Oopsie-daisy. But you did, didn't you? You did, didn't you? Oh, boy. There's one thing true about Trump, too. He does not like being disrespected. No, he does not. He takes that shit personal. And now he's the president 2 times, 3 elections. Arguably 3 wins. Small Town Republic. When Trump was having financial issues in the 90s, he pretended to be his own publicist and bragged on himself. He is relentless. He is, dude. I mean, how many other real estate developers do you even know of? I knew who Trump was my whole life. I always knew who Trump was. He used to do like That's the Real Talk or something on like on K-Rock, I think, back in New York. He used to do that. Like he would just go on the news. Like Trump was always a personality. He was always a figure. I mean, there's video of him that was going around of him on Oprah in the 80s. Oprah. You know what I mean? He's just always been a celebrity somehow. Like, I don't know how you become a celebrity by being a real estate developer, but Trump does. He knows how to do it, and he did it. Knows how to get in the headlines, bro. Billy the Kid. Same here across the pond. You couldn't talk to some people about Trump. It was crazy. Yeah, no, my buddy is, like I said, he's from Cork. And he, when I first started to get to know him, this is Austin, and this was like 2021, maybe. And maybe 2022. But it's like, it's still Austin. And I was just kind of like, he's like, what do you think about Trump? But I was like, I think he's a pretty cool guy. Or I danced around it. And he's just like, I like him. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Me too. And he's like, why can't we just say that? I'm like, I don't know. We should be able to say it. But I was like, there's like consequences to saying that type of stuff. And he was telling me all about how like in Ireland, like the COVID stuff was wild. That like literally like you could sit inside a restaurant if you'd gotten vaxxed, but if you didn't, you had to like sit outside like some kind of second-class citizen or whatever. It's it seems pretty wild. I don't know, man. European politics seems insane. Like I said, I don't understand Ireland's different than the rest of Europe, but oh man, European politics just seem insane. It's crazy. It seems like talk about a uniparty. It doesn't seem like it's like your choices are extremely liberal or even more extremely liberal. Like that's all you get. It's like wild. I don't know.
Night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like,
yeah, he
who's
sounded
that
more
guy?
like Bernie.
What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person doesn't live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was. And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list.
Dude, how refreshing is that? Doesn't that just make you feel good? Like, it's just so nice to see stuff like that. You're like, oh my God, finally. People are coming around, It isn't just that crazy cooked lockstep. We all see it this way. We're all united in hating Trump and blah, blah, blah. No, we're going to deal with it like adults now. It's like, dude, yes. It's what you should have been doing the whole time, but it's nice to see. I think it's terrific and hilarious because I know there are a lot of liberals who are just melting down over this because, like, this is their guy. This was like their battle axe was Bill Maher. He's like, he's their Goebbels. He's head of propaganda. You know what I mean? And he's, like I said, he's been migrating. He's been more reasonable. But for him to go and just say nice things about Trump, not only that, like clearly been like not moved, but like affected by his positive character. Like Trump left a good impression on him, and he went on his show and said that. He could have lied. He could have just gone back to business as usual, but he didn't. He told the truth. Bro, things are different. Things are very different, and it's very good to see. Thank God. And some people still haven't gotten the memo, and that's cool. Make Snape black. Go ahead. Oops. Like, be gay. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, politically. go ahead, because, you know, we're not into it anymore, and you don't have the power anymore, and it's a different goddamn time. Kimmel will have a good cry over this. Yeah, I bet behind the scenes Kimmel's probably not as much of a pussy about it. I don't know. Who knows? Because like he's still friends with Corolla. You know, how much of a pussy could he really be behind the scenes? I think it's like his role. I'm not really sure. But anyway, folks, I decided I'm not going to do the Sargon thing tonight, just because I've been going for an hour and a half already. I'm starving. I haven't eaten. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it on Thursday. We'll do a whole breakdown, and I'll dedicate the entire stream to talking about that, because I still think it is so damn interesting. Because it's just one of those. He just did such a good video on it, and I really want to chew on it, because I completely identify with his thesis, and it's just something that has been like gnawing at me, like irrespective of his video. It's just one of these things that just got under my skin. And I didn't understand why. And then he did this whole video about it, and I was like, oh, my God, that is it, dude. Fucking preach. But okay, so thank you guys so much. I'm back. Let's go. I will be back, I said, Thursday. So Thursday, the next episode of the MFer Podcast, yo. And then, of course, Mondays at 8. I'm going to try to keep it going, keep that train a-rolling. Alagabolis is asking about the cats. Okay, so that is Lukey. Let me see if I can adjust the camera here. That's Lukey. Little Lukey Boo. And then I have a kitten somewhere. Her name's Roxy. I named her after a punk singer because she's a rebellious little punk. Roxy Epoxy of the Epoxy's Hail. And then this fat cat is my buddy Mike's. He moved to Seattle. He's coming back for her, but he left her with me for a little while. She's great. She's fucking nuts, but she's great. But Jamalan, what's up, Matt? Come to Cindy's birthday stream. It's fun. Okay. Is she live right now? If she's live right now, how do you do that thing where you send people to the stream? Like, there's a way to do that. I don't know anything, man. I should look into that. I'm not going to try now, because I'll just be like, you guys can just go there if you want. But yeah, that sounds great, Jamalama. I will go see Cindy's birthday stream. I'll be in the chat. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are fantastic people. It's so good to see you. It's so good to be back. She's live right now. Okay, sick. Yeah, go over to, let's see if I can find a link here. Go over to Cinevere there. I don't know. I can't. Hold on. Wait. Oh, God. Well, anyway, you guys can find it. Cheers. Go hang out with Cindy. Cheers to you, Billy the Kid. Cheers to everybody else. So I'll see you guys Thursday. Have a great night. Ta-ta. Peace out. Later.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!